Your wife is pulling away. You feel powerless. And every move you make seems to push her further. But what if the problem isn't her? It's that you're leading from panic instead of strength. Today, I'm showing you how to lead when your marriage feels completely out of control. Hey, I'm Noah Allen, and if you're watching this, chances are your marriage doesn't feel like it used to. Maybe she's cold, distant, emotionally checked out. You've tried talking, tried giving space, tried being nicer, more present, more available, and nothing worked. In fact, it might have made things a little worse. Here's the truth. Most men don't realize when their marriage feels out of control. It's not because you're failing. It's because you're trying to control the wrong things. You're trying to control her feelings, her moods, her reactions. But real leadership doesn't work that way. Real leadership is about controlling yourself, your actions, your consistency, your presence, even when everything around you feels chaotic. And that's exactly what we're covering today. I'm going to walk you through the 3 core principles that will help you lead your marriage with clarity and confidence, even when it feels like you're losing her. Stick with me, because this could be the reset you've been waiting for. So let's start here. When your marriage feels out of control, your instinct is to react. She's distant, so you try harder. She's angry, so you apologize. She's cold, so you chase warmth. But here's the problem. Reaction isn't leadership, it's survival mode. And when you operate from reaction, you're handing her the wheel, even if she doesn't want it. Think about it like this. Imagine you're on a ship in the middle of a storm. The waves are crashing, the wind is howling, everyone on board is panicking. Now, who are they looking to? The captain. And if the captain starts running around in circles, yelling, making frantic decisions, what happens? The whole ship panics even more. But if the captain stays calm, keeps his hand on the wheel, and leads with steady confidence, even in the chaos, the crew calms down. That's what your wife needs from you right now. Not perfection, not solutions, just steadiness. Let me give you an example. A man I worked with, we're going to call him Marcus, came to me about 6 months ago. His wife had told him she wasn't sure she wanted to stay married. She wasn't yelling, she wasn't angry, she was just flat. And Marcus was losing his mind. He was texting her constantly, trying to plan date nights, asking her what he could do differently, basically begging for reassurance. And the more he did that, the more she pulled away. So we shifted the approach. Instead of reacting to her distance, Marcus started leading from stability. He stopped asking her how she felt every day. He stopped trying to fix her mood. He just showed up calm, present, and consistent. He handled the kids without being asked. He took care of things around the house without mentioning it. He stopped making her emotional state the center of his day. And within 2 weeks, she started engaging again. Not because he convinced her, because he stopped making her responsible for his stability. Here's what this looks like practically. When she's cold, don't overcompensate. When she's frustrated, don't panic. Instead, stay grounded. Stay consistent. Keep doing what needs to be done, whether she notices or not. I always tell this to everybody. That's the whole point of leadership. Okay, you have to still show up. You have to still move every single day. Everyone's all focused about motivation. Motivation is an emotion and it drops off. You need to focus on discipline, because as a leader, sometimes the decision that needs to be made is not the most popular decision, but you need to lead anyways, because leadership isn't about getting immediate results. It's about being the steady force she can trust, even when she's not sure she wants to. And steadiness, that's what we build safety. Now, if you're watching this and you're thinking, okay, this makes sense, but I need help actually applying this to my specific situation, I want to invite you to book a call with me and my team. We'll walk you through exactly where you are, what's not working, and give you a clear roadmap forward. No pressure, no sales pitch, just clarity. You can find that link in the description below. All right, let's get going. Now, the second shift. When your marriage feels out of control, it's easy to fall into a pattern of emotional management. You're constantly reading her mood, adjusting your behavior based on how she seems, trying to keep the peace. But here's what happens when you do that. You become unpredictable. One day you're confident, the next day you're apologizing. One week you're strong, the next week you're walking on eggshells, which, walking on eggshells, by the way, is the worst way to build attraction and safety. And she feels that inconsistency. even if she can't name it. Now, I'm not saying you should ignore her feelings, not at all. And don't go monotone, don't go flat. You still have to have warmth. But there's a difference between being aware of her emotion and letting them dictate your behavior. Real leadership means that you stay anchored in your values, your principles, and your vision for the marriage, no matter what emotional weather she's bringing. Think of it like this. Imagine you're building a house. You wouldn't change the foundation every time the weather shifted, right? If it rains, you don't tear up the concrete and start over. If it's windy, you don't move the walls. You keep building on the same solid base because that's what holds the structure together. And it's funny. I could only imagine, because I've worked in construction with my dad since I was 13. I could only imagine if we were building a house and we had to keep upending the foundation. That's not how it happens. You have to be the bedrock. You have to be that solid emotional leadership. Your emotional leadership works the same way as that solid base. Her mood might shift, your tone might change, but your foundation, your consistency, your integrity, your presence stays the same. Let me give you another example. Guy I coach, we're going to call him Daniel, had been in this cycle for years. His wife would come home stressed from work, and he'd immediately go into fix-it mode, which is very common. Asking questions, trying to solve the problem, getting frustrated when she didn't respond the way that he hoped. And every time it ended in an argument. So we reframed it. Instead of managing her stress, Daniel started managing his own emotional state. When she came home upset, he stayed calm. He listened without trying to fix it. He acknowledged without absorbing it. And he stopped making her stress about him. Within a few weeks, she started opening up more. Not because he changed her, because he stopped making her emotions his responsibility. Here's how you apply this. When she's upset, don't take it personally. When she's distant, don't make it about you. When she's frustrated, don't try to fix it in the moment. Instead, stay grounded in your own emotional state. Ask yourself, what do I need to do right now to lead from strength, not fear? And then do that, regardless of her response. Because when you stop managing her emotions, you free yourself to actually lead. And that's when she starts to feel safe again. All right, here's the third principle. And this one is the most critical. When your marriage feels out of control, you can't talk your way back into trust. You have to build it, one action at a time. I see this all the time. Men come to me saying, I told her I'm going to change. I'm going to apologize. I've promised to do better. And she doesn't believe them. Not because she's cold, not because she's checked out, but because words without action are just noise. Think about it. If your business partner kept saying, I'm going to show up on time, I'm going to hit the deadline, I'm going to follow through, but never actually did, would you trust them? Of course not. Your wife is the same way. She's not listening to what you say anymore. She's watching what you do. Here's an example. A man I worked with, let's call him Eric, had been promising his wife for months that he'd be more present with the kids, that he'd stay in during arguments. He'd say it when she was upset. He'd say it when things were calm, but he never actually did it. He'd come home from work, sit on his phone, and tune out. And every time he made another promise, it just added her resentment. So we flipped the script. Instead of talking about being present, Eric just started doing it. He put his phone away when he got home. He helped with bedtime. He planned activities with the kids on weekends. And he did it without announcing it, without asking for credit, without needing her approval. And after a few weeks, she started noticing. Not because he told her to, because his actions spoke louder than any promise ever could. Here's what I want you to take away. Stop making promises. Stop explaining. Stop trying to convince her you're changing. Just change. Show up consistently. Follow through with the little things. Be the man that she can rely on. Not because you said you would, but because you are. Here's the key. Don't do it for her approval. Do it because that's the man that you're committed to being, whether she notices or not. Because real trust isn't built through words. It's built through repeated, consistent action over time. And when you lead that way, she doesn't have to guess. She just knows. You become undeniable, irresistible, and irreplaceable. So let's bring this all together. If your marriage feels out of control, it's not because you're failing. It's because you're trying to control the wrong thing. You can't control her emotions, her responses, and you can't control whether she believes you right now. But you can control yourself, your actions, your consistency, and your leadership. And when you shift your focus there, everything changes. Not overnight, but steadily, reliably, in a way that rebuilds trust from the inside out. Now, if you're watching this and thinking, okay, I get it, but I need help actually doing this in my marriage, here's what I want you to do. Book a free call with me and my team. We'll walk you through the specific situation, identify what's blocking your progress, and give you a clear action plan to move forward. No pressure, no sales pitch, just real guidance from people who've helped hundreds of men rebuild their marriages. You can find that link in the description below. And listen, I know this feels overwhelming right now. I know it feels like you're running out of time, but the fact that you're here watching this video means you're already doing something most men won't do. You're taking responsibility. You're looking for answers. And that's the first step forward to real change. So don't give up, don't panic, and don't try to do this alone. Your marriage isn't out of control. It just needs a leader. And that leader is you. If you found this helpful, hit the like button, subscribe for more content like this. Drop a comment below letting me know which part hit home the most. I read every single one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.